check. Hey, tell a trap nigga, show a rap brick. I ain't pocket watching nigga, I can't go for it. Yeah, the proof is in the pudding, niggas know I'm lit. Everything all net, no backboard. Run the streets with the trappers and the jack boys. I can give it to a nigga if he asked for it. I know a sweet lick and you don't need a man for it. I got a bill with some badass kids. Song drop in the club, that's that shit. Pull off in the club with a badass bitch. And one thing I hate is a crab ass bitch. Yeah, my OG nigga call me microwave. How I cook that dope nigga right away. You was in the school, nigga, I was in the trap. I was on the front line.
Sitting here with DirtyGame813, brother's a legend in the game. He's really been out here doing this, so we want to sit down and get to know his aspirations, his goals, what he wants to pull from the rap game. And I'm not gonna keep you guys waiting any longer because I know you've been waiting for it. So let's go to it. All right, DirtyGame813, man. How old are you now?
37. Oh man, I'm 37 years young, man. Been in it for a minute, you feel me? Since I was like 14, so you know.
And I know you said you've been in it since 14. When was the earliest moment that you started to take it serious? I know a lot of people they discover that they have a likeness for doing something in them. But when's the earliest that you decided, you know what, this is exactly what I want to do, push music?
Well, I would say it was around 9 years old. Watching the box. You know what I mean? Going to the babysitter's house. You know what I mean? Mama had 2 jobs, so you know what I mean. The babysitter just used to give us snacks, man. It was actually, it's crazy. The babysitter used to babysit me and Jay Creek, and I'm not sure if y'all familiar with Jay Creek, but he's also a hardworking, talented guy that's in the Bay Area. If you don't know about him, y'all should check on him, DirtyGame813. And, just watching the box, man, you know what I'm saying? Watching, people on there, having their videos from Michael Jackson, the MC Hammer, Scarface. You know what I mean? I just felt from there on, I just felt like I had something to say too. You know what I mean? I wanted people to hear my side of my story. So, it's probably say about 9, 10 years old.
We know that, everybody has what they have to do for the day to day. So how often do you actually how often do you dedicate time to your craft, or do you get to work on your craft, per se, like maybe on a weekly or a monthly basis?
I would say 24 hours, man, 24/7. You know what I mean? I keep a phone with me. I keep a notepad where I can jot things down, because every situation I'm in, you know what I mean? No matter if it's traffic, no matter if I'm in the trap, no matter if I'm at home with my family, I'm just being real. Like, I always can come up with something about the situation. I always can, relate music, or a poem or whatever to what I got going on. You know what I mean? It's just, I guess that's what brings out the versatility of my music. You know what I'm saying? Being able to talk about different things, you know what I mean? From, intellect all the way to the street. So I would say 24/7.
In case you guys don't know, brother has a very motivational Facebook page where he can often be found doing his freestyles, man. And I'm telling you, bro has bars. I mean, not just something to listen to for the ears, but something to listen to for the soul. So if you don't know, you definitely need to be trying to flood, bro, with a friend request to get on this. Because I heard you, just recently, even with what you were doing with what you was talking about, the coronavirus and everything, bro. I feel like you're speaking to the soul, bro. You understand? So, and that brings me to this. What is your motivation in the dark times? To keep pushing and to bring light through your music.
I would say my motivation, man, is my kids, man. You know what I mean? I got a football team, so my motivation is my children, man. Just seeing them happy, seeing them smile. You know what I mean? And just seeing them grow, and me being able to be there as a father and just direct them in the right places. You know what I'm saying? Because, you got so many people out here that's not fathers. You know what I mean? Before this music shit, I'm a man before anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm a gentleman, especially in front of my children. You know what I'm saying? I walk the right way in front of my children. So I would say, my kids, that's what I would say, bro. That's my motivation.
Definitely heartfelt there, man, and I'm glad to hear that, because the art of being a man, it seems like it's getting lost along the youth. So, man, it's good to know that we've got people out here that still, you know, trying to make sure that that gets passed down from generation to generation. If you can go back to the beginning of your career with the knowledge that you have now, are there things that you would whisper to yourself to maybe do something differently, or are there opportunities that you wish you might have taken that you hadn't taken, or what's your perspective in that aspect?
I would say, to be real, I don't want to really toot my own horn, but I would say, man, I wouldn't change nothing, because I was always light years ahead of most artists, you know what I'm saying? Because I was able to travel at a young age with this music, you know what I'm saying? I was able to, be involved and be around people that was really doing this music, coming up at a young age. So I would say I wouldn't change anything, man, because I've been out of my trunk. You know what I'm saying? When I was 12, 13 years old, I was like one of the first people in Tampa to have a CD player, a CD burner. You know what I'm saying? And I was young, you know what I mean? I cut enough yards for it. You know what I'm saying? I had my hustle back then. So I wouldn't change anything, because they just catching up to a lot of people. I ain't gonna say everybody, but I would say a lot of people just catching up to the game that I was doing when I was 14. You know what I'm saying? Being independent, being able to make money, because I was taking CDs, tapes back to school back then, selling them. You know what I'm saying? That's how I created my own wave from back then. So I would say I wouldn't really change nothing, but, just stay up to date on what, technology offers. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the music, you know what I'm saying? As far as like the streaming and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to stay up to date with what they got going on now. But as far as what I would change from now to then, I wouldn't change too much, bro.
That's real. That's real. All right. This next question is more for people, aspiring artists, as far as who may be coming up on their first live performance. Because I know you performed all over. Let's go back to some of your first performances. Do you remember how you felt before, how you felt during, and right after those performances?
Yeah, man. My first performances, I'm one of them dudes, bro. I love to be seen. I love people to hear my my point of view. I'm one of them people that, you know what I mean, that just like to, showcase my talent anytime I get a chance. So, I always felt good. I always felt motivated. You know what I'm saying? Before I get off the stage, before I get on the stage, and when I get off the stage, you know what I'm saying? I always, I feel great. You know what I mean? It's just something that's in me, I guess. I guess something that I was born with, to always want to, showcase my talent and, be heard, be seen.
And as far as those first few performances, do you remember if everything went as expected? Was there anything that you wish might have occurred different? Like, was there any like learning curve as far as did the music sound like when you came out to the stage? Did it sound like you expected the sound? Did you have to adapt to the sound, or was it just remarkably smooth? Like, did it just go as you expected it, or is there anything that you may have had to adapt to on the scene, on the fly, or how did that go?
Well, man, the first time I actually hit the stage in front of, I would say probably about like 500 people, was in high school, man. Not even high school. I would say junior high. They had a talent show. And it's crazy because the first show I did was off the Gin and Juice beat, Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. You know what I mean? I was in the 6th grade, and you know what I mean? Snoop, he real, one of his biggest things in the industry is, the word biatch. So, so that came on before my music could get played. And all the teachers, and they just rushed to the stage, and they made me get off stage, man, because, you know what I mean? The word biatch, you know what I'm saying? So my first experience getting on stage, it wasn't too good. You know what I mean? I got kicked off. I got disqualified out of the talent show, and I got like 3 days in school suspension. So that was like my first time, you know what I mean, knowing that I had to have, all my stuff right next time I jump on stage. You know what I mean? Depending on, where I was showcasing my talent at.
That's definitely a story for the ages, boss. But so so everybody aspires to be the greatest of all time at their craft, and especially listening to your music, we definitely know that you're one on that level, if not on that level. Who are some people that you believe influenced your style of delivery, or would you say that does that is there a group of artists that maybe contribute to, your style of delivery?
Well, over time, you know what I mean. I found myself, you know what I mean, and I mean like every artist. Well, I would say majority of artists that starts, you know what I'm saying, music, whether you rap, sing, whatever, you know what I mean, your cadence will always be, you know, similar to most. So I would say, coming up just off of like Outkast and even Hammer, man, a lot of people don't want to give Hammer his props. You know what I'm saying? MC Hammer and, artists like Scarface and, new artists like, Andre 3000, he came later on in the 90s and stuff like that. But, you know what I mean? Like, I would say like, Andre 3000, Big Boy, Scarface, you know what I'm saying? Bum B, you know, and then over time when those artists faded out, you know what I'm saying? I became, more of me, more of Dirty Game because, I stopped being fans of artists, you know what I'm saying? And just started being more fans of just they songs, you know what I'm saying? Because artists weren't really coming, you know what I mean, with great albums, how, Tupac and, you know what I mean, Outkast and Bum B and Scarface, all of them guys was coming with. So I would say, those are some of the guys that, you know what I mean, helped me, gather my cadence and my delivery and my style.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I'm actually very glad that you brought that up because amongst musicians and fans alike, you can't deny that there's definitely been a decline as far as music quality. Not in your music, but we're saying in the music industry as well. Like it's in the music industry itself. There's me, like we've said all the time, that music just doesn't sound like it sounded before, and that's why I'm glad you brought up those particular artists, and because it lets us know that you're rooted in real music. You know what I'm saying? That shows that in your verses, in how you in your cadence and how you carry yourself. If you could do a collab with any artist, dead or alive, you could do a combination of the two. Money's not an issue. Who would be on that dream track? Break.
Man, if I could do, I would say, Prince and Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? And I would say Andre 3000. You know what I mean? Because like those guys really helped shape the commercial side. You know what I mean? Michael Jackson and Prince, I think they helped create the commercial side of rap. You know what I mean? Because you started to see rappers, like, wear some of the similar clothing. You know what I mean? Because them dudes was pushing numbers way back. So I would do Prince and Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I already got the bars myself. I just need, they flavor, they style, and they R&B flavor over whatever I would do. So I would definitely rock with Prince and Michael Jackson. Great.
Yeah, we unfortunately we'll never hear it, but that, man, you got me wishing that we could because I already know it would be some fuego. Is there, I know as an independent artist, is there a major label that you would, I know as an independent artist and somebody who's been pushing as long as you have, is there a major label, if the money was right, that you'd be willing to hear from or sign to?
Of course, of course. Right now, we're doing a little negotiating. We're trying to see what's up with 1017. We got a couple of ARs in the artist development department. They're reaching out to me as we speak. I would say, man, to be honest with you, I would love to deal with somebody like Gucci. Somebody with the same mindset as me. You know what I mean? QC, Pierre from Quality Control, Coach K. I would definitely love to work with those guys. Somebody that I feel like got the same mindset of me. You know what I mean? When it comes to grinding and putting out music, those are a couple of the guys that I would love to deal with.
Here's the question we ask every artist. So if it takes you a minute to answer, it's no problem. You wake up tomorrow, the phone rings. It's the best call of your career. Tell me who's on it and what the conversation goes like. Great.
Well, I would say, I would say Gucci, man. I would say Gucci. Gucci, man. I mean, You feel me? I feel like we the same person. You know what I'm saying? Just two different guys in two different cities. Because you know the way he came at the game, I've been trying to, you know what I mean, do those type of things that you know Gucci been doing over the years. It's just that my city where I'm from, they wasn't caught up. They wasn't caught up on how, you know what I'm saying, music was supposed to be at a time when, you know, we had the ball in our hands. You know what I'm saying? You know, people from my city like DJs and program directors, they always used to tell me I'm putting out too much music, putting out too many mixtapes. They used to always tell me this. So they used to tell me to slow down and, you know, just focus on one record. So I would say, man, Gucci, you know what I mean? And the conversation would be like, you know, how much music that I do have to offer for, you know, the situation. Man, I got over 1,000 songs recorded. I got over 1,000 songs written, you know what I mean, that's not recorded. So that conversation would be crazy, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it would be Gucci. And that conversation would be crazy because he got a whole bunch of music, you know what I'm saying, to offer, and I got a whole bunch of music to offer.
Oh, damn. I definitely wish this gets to 10-17, man, because I like I said, I've heard you and the bars, man. You're definitely not lacking the bars. And Gucci, being the businessman that he is and being the musician that he is, I definitely think you would definitely appreciate, you know, that conversation as well. At this point, because of, you know, of how established you are you open to doing features or collabs with upcoming artists or artists who are just getting into the game? And if so, what do they need to have in hand when they get in contact with you, so for you to know that they are serious about their craft?
Well, me, you know, it depends. You know, you got a lot of different artists out here that see things differently. Every time I run across artists that's just not getting the game, whether they just started rapping or whether they young artists, I always tell them, you know what I'm saying, make sure they have their business right. You know what I mean? So, you know, it depends. It's just, you know, if they don't have their business right and I see the hunger in their eyes, you know what I mean? I try to show them the business side of it. You know what I mean? But if you're an artist and I feel like you're established and you know what you're doing, you got it already. You know what I'm saying? And you step into me and you want to do a record. As long as the paperwork right and I can see some type of, you know what I mean? I can see some type of capital off of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm down, whether it's the back end or the front end, because I'm one of them guys that, as long as the business right, I'm good with it. You know what I mean? I can see my money later down the line or I can see it up front. Now, a lot of artists step to me sometimes and they have no clue. You know what I mean? And, you know, they just want to get on the YouTube beat or they just want to, you know what I mean, do a freestyle with me or whatever the case may be. And I might ask for something up front. You know what I mean? Because I see it's really nothing behind it. It's not going to be uploaded for streams. It's not going to be, you know what I mean, no paperwork behind it. You know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, sometimes my time is valuable. So I feel like, you know what I mean, I may have to, you know what I'm saying, charge them up front. You know what I mean? Especially if you from this area. But if we can network and you from another area and we can swap it out, you know what I mean, with the, you know what I mean, with the promo or whatever the case may be, you know, we could take it from there. So it's just many different type of ways that I have a business. It just depends on the situation and the artist. So, you know, just make sure you have your business right. Or if you don't have your business right, I can show you how to get your business right. If you step into somebody like me, you know what I mean, that's been doing it for a while. You know what I mean? So that's what I would tell all artists. Make sure your business right and make sure you got your, you know what I mean, your song and everything tight.
Definitely, definitely. All right, these next couple of questions, there's about 6 or so. These are more like on a personal level, to get to know you on a personal level versus like your artwork. Because I know a lot of people don't have access to Dirty Games, so it's just, you know, this is kind of like that one-on-one for fans, so to speak. Uh, what I always have to clear this up too, because I always ask this question. People are like, man, what are you doing? Okay, so this next question is nothing to incriminate yourself. You don't have to tell us nothing crazy, just something that's radio ready. You know what I'm saying? Nothing to embarrass somebody. But what's the craziest thing you've ever done, and would you do it again?
Oh man, the craziest thing I ever done.
That you could talk about.
Man, the craziest thing I ever done, I would say, is sneak I mean, music related, I would say I was sneaking to USF, 2 Chainz concert. Uh, yeah, man, that's probably about the craziest thing that I ever done musically related. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? How it all went down, man. It's a long story how it all went down. But you know, they was Tampa police was out there, they was tripping. You know what I mean? They was actually pulling guns on everybody that had rushed the gates to get in free at the two chain concert. So it was basically like a life or death matter. It was around the time when they was just shooting brothers down just cause. And you know what I mean? Them pulling pistols on us just for trying to sneak, you know what I mean, in the 2 Chain concert. You know what I'm saying? It was a life and death. It was a life and death type of situation. You feel me? Guns out, like 12 of us trying to get in. I managed to get in still because I ain't stopped. You know what I mean? I feel like I feel like if you gonna shoot me for trying to get in the concert, well then you might as well go in and shoot me then. You feel me? So I would say that's probably the craziest thing I ever done musically related. You know what I mean?
All right, and then that dreaded part two. Was it worth it? Would you do it again?
Yeah, of course, man, because I got a chance to meet 2 Chainz. I actually got a chance to give him my music. You know, I later on met up with him in Phoenix, Arizona as well. I mean, street execs, you know what I mean? They every time I'm in Atlanta or whatever the case may be, it's always a great, you know what I mean, great situation. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, I would say that it was well worth it. You know what I mean? Because, not too many people could actually say, you know what I mean, they plugged in with street execs or, you know what I mean, they got a chance to go with 2 Chainz from city to city, you know what I mean, and deal with them, you know what I mean? So I would say, yeah, it was well worth it.
All right. What would you say has been your biggest mistake in life so far, and what did you learn from it?
Well, right now, my biggest mistake in life, bro, I would say, um, having kids at a early age. You know what I mean? I had my first son when I was 14 years old. You know, just being able to survive, having a kid at, you know, at 14 years old, you know what I'm saying, and do this music and stay consistent and be able to go to school, get my diploma, you know what I mean, and then get, my business degree, associate's degree, you know what I mean, in college. So I would say, having kids early, man, you know, was would be, even though I love my kids and they're a blessing, it's just a time and a place for everything. I felt like, I feel like, some of the situations I had to be a man and I had to put some things on the back burner when it came to music. So, you know, you know, when life happens, people don't really understand. They just see the music. You know what I mean? They don't really see the real thing that happens in the artist's life. So I would say, man, just having kids at a young age, man, in junior high school, it was a mistake. It could be a mistake for anybody. You know what I mean? That's not ready to be a parent. You know what I mean? Especially when you're a child. So
I understand, boss. Okay. So let's say you get a call. They want DirtyGame813 to do a show in Australia or somewhere. You're gonna have to take a long trip. The internet on the plane is not working. You can take 5 movies with you. What are those 5 movies you're gonna take to get your time? I know an artist like you would probably use that time to write, but just for the question, what are those 5 favorite movies that you would take with you?
I would say it gotta be Boys in the Hood. It gotta be Menace to Society. It gotta be The First Friday. It gotta be Get Rich or Die Trying, the 50 joint. And it got to be South Central. And I like the new movie they made too a couple years ago, the ATL movie. You know what I'm saying? So I would say that would probably be, is that 5?
Hey, that's 6. Hey, but I'm with you, man. You naming all good movies, man. You made me go back in my bag a little bit, man. I ain't mad. I ain't upset with you at all.
Yeah.
All right. What's something you can't go a day without doing?
Man, smoking. I got to have me some smoke. You feel me? You know, I smoke the best of the best. If you know me personally, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about. Like if you know me personally, like I was like way before it was cool, way before Wiz Khalifa. Everybody made it cool, like to smoke. You know what I mean? I was already like on that at a young age. So it's like I can't go a day by without having something to ease my mind. You know, that good treat.
What's your biggest pet peeve? Like even if Mom Dukes does it, you know what I'm saying? I know we love our parents, and in your case, your kids. It's even if a family member does it, but most definitely if a stranger does it. What's that technical foul? And no matter what happens, it just won't pass.
Oh, the disrespect. You know what I'm saying? The disrespect. Cause you know, I'm not a disrespect guy, man. You feel me? I look at myself as a gentleman. No matter what I rap about, no matter what people hear come out my mouth, no matter what they hear me say, you know what I'm saying? I stand on respect. You know what I mean? I feel like respect is due to a dog. You know what I mean? Like certain things that people let slide these days. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not with it. You feel me? You know how certain people use the word bitch freely. They use the word F. You know how people, they use certain words that's too freely. And I feel like a lot of people done adapted to it because I guess it's the new way, but it's just a lot of stuff that I don't play. And I just stand big on respect. You know what I'm saying? You gotta respect everybody. You feel me? From old to new. I mean, my granddaddy used to always tell me respect is due to a dog. So, I mean, you disrespect me, I probably gonna give you like one shot. You know what I mean? That's like a zero tolerance for me because I respect everybody. I'm big on
We've got about three more questions here. What's one food that you could not live without? If there was, for some reason, if there was a shortage, we'll even go as far as a dish, a complete dish. But if it's a one dish you had to eat for the rest of your life, what is that?
Man, I gotta have me a 3-piece all breast. You know what I mean? Hey, I can live. You ain't gotta give me nothing else, but just give me some chicken and you ain't gotta worry about me no more. I'm there. You know what I'm saying? So I would say chicken, all breast. You know what I mean?
Amen. All right. If your life was a movie or a book, what would the title be to it?
Dirty game.
All right. So, what are some of your own personal goals? What are some things that you want to cross off in the next 5 years? Great.
I definitely, my clothing store. I sell a whole bunch of merch. You know what I'm saying? Online and offline. Um, I actually got an investor that's, willing to, get me a store in ATL right now. But the coronavirus, all this stuff going on is slowing the process down. Um, and, just building my brand, man, Dirty Game Records, you know what I'm saying? It's bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this part in my career right now, I'm just building a brand. People are more open to hear what I got to say now. So it's definitely helping me. It's definitely helped me build my brand. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, my record label, me as CEO, and, my clothing business, my clothing line.
If in the future we asked to interview you again and time permits, you've got the time on the schedule, would you be willing to come back on the show?
Most definitely, man. Most definitely, man. Anybody, I'm always been humble when it comes to things like this. You know what I mean? My granddaddy, he always used to tell me, man, you know, treat the janitor the same way you'll treat the CEO. So if I seen y'all tomorrow, or if I seen y'all 5 years down the line and my label is successful and I'm making millions, I would be the same as that guy. And anybody that knows me, know that's true. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who you is. You know what I'm saying? If you reach out to me and you appreciate what I'm doing for the culture, I definitely appreciate y'all, you know what I'm saying, for appreciating me. So I'm one of them type of guys, man. Like you could be a big name or a no name, you know what I mean? And I'm still going to treat you the same, bro. It's all 100 with me. So definitely will come back on the show.
Well, there game 813, we definitely appreciate you, man, for coming on the show. And definitely thank you for kicking it with us, man. The final question, I mean, as with every artist, is we always leave the audience with a track. You want to go ahead and explain what the name of the track is and what you were feeling and the motivation behind the track?
The record, man, is Run Tell That. It's on all streaming platforms right now as we speak. You can even talk to it, man. Tell Siri to play that DirtyGame813, that Run Tell That. I mean, this record I wrote this record, you know what I mean? It got, you know, it got my market, it got my city sound behind it. But if you listen to the record, man, it's letting you know that, you know what I mean? Since we just got Brady with the Bucks. So, you know what I'm saying? It's our time again. You know what I'm saying? It's our time to shine. Cause if you know the history, you know, Tampa went through a little blank spot when it came to, you know what I'm saying, music. You know what I'm saying? Miami took over. Now the power is shifting back towards Tampa. So, you know what I mean? You got a couple artists here just landed some deals. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Buck Sosa and 300 ENT. So I would definitely say the record is Run Tell That.
All right, you heard it from the mouth of Dirty Game himself. Run Tell That coming up soon, so make sure you stay tuned and make sure that you support this brother on all platforms. He can be found on all platforms. And what you waiting for? Press play.
Yes, sir.
This your boy Dirty Game. Check hit a lick for a bit check. Yeah. Run tell a fuck nigga that we up there. Real nigga bad bitches, yeah, we on deck. Tell her I been a hater, they don't want tech. Tell them Dirty Game on some new shit. Just left the mall, bought a new fit. Damn. Try to singer, now she want some new dick. Okay. Real niggas link up, that's the movement. Yeah, I'm still in the trap, ain't shit changed. Nah. Check a chin with your bitch, high kick game. Could've had your old lady, but the bitch lame. Like brrrr, when the stick sang. Bang. One time for my niggas on lockdown. Okay. Bad bitches in the coupe with the top down. The girl slid through the room, got knocked down. She just came through too, but I was not round. Yeah, I been in the game for a long time. Yeah, I'm really in the streets, you just online. Swag automatic like a Chrome 9. Still cussed the bitch out and she was so fine. Yeah, hit a lick for a big check. Run tell a fuck nigga that we up next. Real nigga bad bitches, yeah, we on deck. Tell her I been a hater, they don't want tech. Just hit a lick for a big check. Run tell a fuck nigga that we up next. Real nigga bad bitches, yeah, we on deck. Tell her I been a hater, they don't want tech. Tell her pussy hoe won't fuck with her. My baby daddy and a brother, they a fuck nigga. If it's up in the stuck, ain't no coming down. And I got up on a pumping like 100 rounds. Package came in, got more orders. Nigga knock it down with the cold water. I'm always 100 like 4 quarters. Tank top crease jeans, I'm so floored. Trap don't boom and the money don't come. All I need is Wi-Fi and a nigga going dumb. Trap swag nigga, that's the new wave. I'm in the game, you nigga Bobby Boucher. I skate test a nigga call me Lupe. Fuck with mine, I'm on your head like a toupee. I'm a player with the game like I'm 2K. No thoughts round here, shout out Blueface. Yeah, I just hit a lick for a big check. Rap tell a fuck nigga that we up next. Real nigga bad bitches, yeah, we on deck. Tell her I been a hater, they don't want tech. Just hit a lick for a big check. Run tell a fuck nigga that we up next. Real nigga bad bitches, yeah, we on deck. Tell her I been a hater, they don't want tech.
So